Boardroom, Chapter 3, 8000 BC. The two rocketed through the amber veil of shivering color that was the Pyramid Nebula. One had hit it at the very peak of the four-sided structure or get singed. These two did it with ease, never once getting so much as a feather singed. Right behind them were Bells and Gabe. Though not as agile as the lead pair, they too escaped unscathed. The great thing about being an angel was that every nick or feather lost or broken bone could be healed in a few seconds. Angels tried all sorts of stunts and occasionally came out the worse for wear. But everywhere there were emergency kits, or emergency rooms as they were called. Each was staffed by an angel who could do anything required to repair, realign, or heal any injury. If someone sustained a concussion or other major injury, he or she was whisked away by harmonic speed to the main center in G218, where spirit could and would treat and heal any problem. Sometimes you would add a little scolding to the patient at no charge, of course. The next challenge after soaring through the pyramid was a little tricky. The chain nebula was a series of linked rings in the form of a large circle some 50,000 miles in diameter. Each link of the chain had a rotating orb of various colors and shapes in its center, all kept in stable position by magnetic forces of the orbs themselves. The game was traversing through each link in the chain to make a full circle trip. The record was held by Luke at 56.37 seconds. Even Junior couldn't match his time, well, at least in his angelic mode, which he stayed in most of the time so he could be close to his friends. But Bells had been practicing and said in practice he had beaten Luke's time. Of course, he was alone at practice, so no one could verify it. As he came to a sudden halt in front of Luke and Junior, he sprayed stardust, covering both of them with glittering powder. It looked cool on Luke's black feathered wings, but he shook it off in disgust. He boasted of his recent times in practice and disclosed he would here and now break Luke's record. The three set their timers, electronic devices implanted in their forearms. The three now simultaneously said, "Ready, set, go," and Bells took off with a shriek. As he rounded the quarter pole, it appeared that he might just do it, but just as he reached the halfway point, one of his wing muscles tightened ever so slightly, and his body began to wobble just a wee bit. Suddenly, the two onlookers heard a loud crack. They raced over to the other end of the chain nebula and found, to their horror, the crumpled body of Bells floating near one of the craggy orbs centered in one of the linked nebulae. They raced up and shook him. He did not open his eyes, but his pulse was strong. Gabe picked up Bells, and the three raced the 15 minutes to the nearest ER. They sped into the entrance and were immediately met by a Chanico, the nurse on duty. Dr. Weston Neal was soon on the scene. He did a full exam and pronounced the patient as having a severe concussion. His optical scanner revealed no fracture and no internal hemorrhage. He loaded Bells on the back of a transport angel who secured him with two smaller wings and then unfolded his two larger wings and flew straight up through a large open skylight. He then harmonicked and was in G218 in an hour. Their spirit was called, treated him, and gave him a note for release from work for 1 week to allow him to unscramble his brains. She knew full well Bells would be okay. Junior and Luke stayed behind. They left the ER and went back to the scene of the accident. It was not the first time someone had hit one of the magnetic orbs, nor would it be the last. They cleaned up Bells' tracks and then sat down to rest. They suddenly were very hungry. They reached down into their pouches, which were built in, and took out a large cylindrical loaf with a hole in the center. As they sat munching away on manna, as Pops called it, Luke said, "You know, that's the trouble. There's such a sumptuous food all over this, well, K1, and yet all us angels need is manna. Look at the animals. Bears love the berry bogs, and shark eats scrumptious fish. Why bother to make all these foods if we can't eat 'em? All we need is this tasteless manna, and we live forever." I'm not sure, but I guess you can eat anything you want. Yeah, but it doesn't satisfy. We have so few taste buds. You, on the other hand, can enjoy anything and everything you eat. Only on occasion. Man, it suffices most of the time. I'd fatten up quick if I ate like that very often. It's just not fair. Why can't we have all the pleasures? A lion licks his chops after a meal of antelope, but we can't even taste a little berry. He hurled his half-eaten disk of manna far into the dark sky, bounced off one of the orbs, and scurried off into space. That's another thing. If I was creating this nebula, I would certainly do a better job than your pop. Why didn't he design it so angels wouldn't get hurt? Junior shrugged his shoulders. I don't know, Luke continued. I have looked at a lot of things, and I think I could do a better job. Not this chain nebula. Just make the orbs out of, say, manna. Yeah, manna. Then no one would get hurt. Then the colors of the Crab Nebula. Why, they're all wrong. They clash terribly. Say, why don't you ask Pop to let us do some creation on our own? Just give us a little more knowledge and let us go out on our own. I bet anything we could do a better job than him. Talk to him, Junior. Can't hurt to ask. Put us up to a 64. Couldn't be all that bad. Pops would still be the most powerful. What's a 64 compared to infinity anyway? Some of us could then go out on our own. At least them that would want to. And believe me, there are quite a number who would. How about it, old buddy, old pal? Luke put his arm on his best friend's shoulder. Junior put his arm on his best friend's shoulder. It's just not that simple. No one knows what's in Pop's mind, not even me, not even Mom. He's on a different track. But we both, that is, Mom and me, know not to question him. He is the substance of all creation. He alone keeps things in order. Without him, none of us, none of this would even exist. There would be no life, no light, nada, kaput. Junior crossed and uncrossed his wings in a gesture of negativity. We got a fantastic life. We can do anything and have everything we want. What more could you want? Blueberries. What? Junior queried. Blueberries. I can't have 'em. Yes, Junior knew what Luke meant. Luke and all the angels had very few taste buds, and blueberries and manna or anything else tasted the same to them. Say, when is V1 starting up? I haven't heard. Usually 10 to 20,000 years between startups. That's it. Let Pop give us what we want, some 64s, and send us in to create V1. That would be perfect. I would never complain or sulk again. But who would direct the building? Junior asked. Why, me, of course. Luke realized Pop would not agree to giving a lowly angel so much power over others and quickly toned his idea down. Well, you could be the foreman. I would just come to see you to get advice. Say I ran into a problem with design, construction, or whatever. I guarantee you Pop would like our work. And when we finished V1, we could go to W1 and so on. Of course, we might ask for a little more juice, say 128, to make W1 even more spectacular. I got some great ideas for new life forms. Why, all Pops would have to do is sit back and observe. He could rest all the time. You know he knows the future. Well, then, he knows it'll work. Eventually, I figure he will just give me the power of infinity as well, and then he can retire to his beloved Eden. Then you and I can run the show. I can taste those blueberries already. What about our other buddies? They'll want infinity too. Then what? Who runs things if more than one has infinite power? Multiple leaders will most certainly lead to, well, chaos. No, no. We, the elite hierarchy, will vote on leaders. You can be our overall leader or overseer, just like Pop is now. With him out of the way, retired, we can vote and decide who should be in what place in the new government. Of course, you would have veto over all decisions, if you choose to use it. But you and I, well, we have always been on the same page. Everything will be smooth, even smoother than it is now. Pop won't go for it, I'm sure of that. Well, that's where you come in. He's not going to listen to me. Of course he will. He It will take time, but it can be done. I don't know. You see, I figure I'm a little smarter than the rest of my colleagues. Pop likes me. I think he may have already given me a little more knowledge. Maybe I'm a 9. My looks, well, they are second to none. He did a spin in front of his friend. I think I'm his little experiment. He wanted to push the envelope and see how an angel would look with a little upgrade here and there. And now, seeing how well it worked, he will continue to upgrade us as it will benefit him and everyone else. Luke tapped the top of his raven-haired head with first one wing, then the other. I'm not so sure that is what he has done, Luke, Junior said. Blueberries, real blueberries. Luke patted Junior firmly on the shoulder. And apples. You know, I'd really like to know what an apple tastes like. Junior sighed, but Luke continued. You know, the other day on Missanthera, I thought I could taste a little acid in an apple. They're actually more tart. Junior looked down after he spoke, realizing Luke couldn't taste, that Luke was really only an 8, and Pops would never go for any such changes. Pop and Spirit and he knew there must be level order or all would vanish into chaotic oblivion, but he continued. I'll talk to him, bro. Say, are you coming to the conference over on Eden? Wouldn't miss it for the universe, Luke said. He then flared his wings and was off like a shot, leaving a smoke trail in his wake. In a minute he returned out of breath. 56-26, a new record. Put it on the board at S365. Would you, old buddy, old pal? With that, Luke shot out into open space, this time leaving a euphoric trail of black glitter. The next morning, Junior was chomping away on a huge breakfast steak as his mother Spirit wandered into the kitchen, eyes full of sleep. Though having difficulty seeing even after rubbing her eyes, she did make out the 24-ounce fillet Junior was destroying. Son, why are you eating so much and so fast? I gotta get over to L119. They're setting up an explosion to form a new TriStar. Pop set it up a few weeks ago so the engineers can detonate the explosives, but as always, Pops wants me there to supervise. By the way, where is he? I got a couple details I need his advice on. Don't bother your father. He's exhausted. He just couldn't sleep last night. I finally got him to relax about 4 a.m. He's snoring now. I expect he'll be out until noon. How'd you finally get him to relax, Mom? Junior said with a wry smile on his catsup-stained face. Spirit blushed. You know. Yeah. Wonder when it will be my turn. Your father's worrying himself sick these days, especially since that meeting. The hints of discord of angels saying he is unfair are just killing him. I'm very afraid for him. He can't eat, can't sleep. Say, where's those blueberry pancakes, Interati? Junior called out. Presently the breakfast chef brought them out on a huge steaming platter. Junior forked several onto his plate, right on top of a pile of catsup. He didn't notice or care. He had a voracious appetite. Say, Mom, why didn't Dad let Angels taste? You know, Luke thought he could taste a little acid in an apple the other day. They should be able to enjoy food like we do, don't you think? Your father said it would always be a distraction from their appointed purpose. I can see it in maybe the 1s or 2s or even 3s, but the 8s? It would just cause hard feelings. Your father is as fair as the mega is big. I know, but really, everyone deserves to enjoy good food. He somehow got words out between chomps. Luke wants to be graduated up to a 10 or even higher. He wants to eat and taste real food and create real things. Junior didn't go into detail and didn't get into Luke wanting Pops to retire and Luke to take over. Junior had thought this through to some degree and realized the throne was rightfully his and not Luke's if Pops retired. But he also expected Luke was just joshing, though he would like to see the 8s bumped up to say 10 so he could eat with his friends. He hadn't sorted out the other implications yet. Junior jumped up. I'm out of here. See you tonight, Mom. Tell Pops everything will be fine and to quit worrying himself to death. Junior ran out the door, and his still sleepy mom sat down at the table and began to pick at Junior's catsup laced blueberry pancakes.